Hi, folks. Welcome back. Mighty Max Weinberg bringing us back. We got some Springsteen news later on in the show.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the new tour and where I'll be reporting live from the swamps of Jersey during the Jersey shows of the tour, but we'll get to that later.
And we've got a lot of people that are still on the line right now for Hit and Run, and Hit and Run is left. We will be doing a large 2-hour show on them really, really soon, and we thank all the callers that called in.
And we apologize if we couldn't.
We do, yeah. We tried to get through as many calls as we could, and you know, next time I blame it on Niagara basketball.
I blame it on Jim. Jim, our engineer, it's his fault.
We're looking in the glass trying to find Jim. He's out taking pictures with Hit and Run. He's he's doing all kind of crazy stuff. Right now, though, it is my honor to welcome Shawn McQuiller to the microphone and the show. And Shawn has been the singer with KOOL and the Gang for the last 20 years. Welcome down, my brother.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here tonight. This is great being here.
He's got the coolest radio voice in the world already.
You know what? Take my job.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. But no, it's been close to 20 years since I've been out there touring with KOOL and the Gang. So it's been great. It's been awesome.
And a lot of people don't know this. You're from the area.
Born and raised Lackawanna, New York.
Yeah.
Still living in Lackawanna. Travel all over the world, but when it's time to go home, Lackawanna's where it's at.
Yeah, yeah, and you're still doing 100 dates a year with KOOL and the Gang, right?
Yeah, we average around 100 shows a year, so we stay pretty busy.
So now you're doing the Van Halen tour. You got 52 dates with Van Halen, correct?
52 dates, and when we heard about it, we thought it was kind of strange when you say KOOL and the Gang and Van Halen on the same ticket, but I think it's going to be great. I'm sure a lot of people are going to come out and check it out, and we're looking forward to doing it.
Did you have your druthers at first? I mean, like, did you have reservations thinking, what are we doing on this bill?
No, like I said, it seems strange because you don't hear a lot of R&B groups going out touring with rock and roll groups, you know. But,
yeah.
I heard Van Halen's known for throwing some weird things together, and I guess this is one of them here. So
the industry's changed too, I think, a little bit. It used to be that, you know, if you were with a label, you did the label thing, and you know, if you're a big artist, you know, as far as rock and roll went, you could bring out maybe somebody that you were interested in. But generally, the way it works now is if you're with Warner, a Warner artist is going with you. And I don't think Van Halen even cares about anything. I think my opinion is probably David Lee Roth is a huge fan of you guys.
That is what I heard. I heard David Lee Roth is a big fan of KOOL and the Gang.
Yeah.
And I even heard back in the day when Van Halen was first getting his start that those guys used to play a lot of KOOL and the Gang tunes when they were doing cover tunes.
I think I've heard bootlegs, live bootlegs of them.
I heard David Lee Roth he heard that we might be able to do it, and he had his people get in touch with our people, and it's about to jump down.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So now you are. When does the tour officially kick off?
The 18th of February.
18th of February.
We started in Louisville, Kentucky.
And
there's some huge dates on this tour. I mean, you're playing Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, we got 2 nights at the Garden.
Yeah.
I think February 28th and then March the 1st. I think we're doing the Garden, and then we'll be here March the 9th. Is
the Buffalo one going to be? Is that the one you're most looking forward to? Just
for me, I've never played home. You know, the closest I've got to home was Seneca Casino a few times up there.
Yeah.
But to be in the heart.
Yeah.
Buffalo, I'm really looking forward to this here.
In the arena too, that's gonna be really cool.
It's gonna be great. You know, my dream was always to do Buffalo Memorial Auditorium.
Right.
That never happened. So, but hey, this will work. This is good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good second choice.
Oh, that's a great choice.
Let's face facts. That's a nicer arena, anyways.
And to like I said, been with KOOL and the Gang almost 20 years. The whole thing is strange. I met them at the time. I was in a cover band right here from Buffalo. 3 guys from Lackawanna. 3 guys from Buffalo, and 1 young lady from Buffalo. And we were the opening act for KOOL and the Gang in Singapore. And a serious case of being in the right place at the right time.
Right.
After the show, their manager approached me about maybe doing some things with them, and it all worked out.
And what was the name of the band that you were in?
We called ourselves Traffic Jam at the time.
Traffic Jam.
Yeah, so we played a lot throughout Canada, and at this particular time, we was doing a 6-month international tour. We did 3 months in Japan. And then we went to Singapore for 3 months, and that's where we met them at.
So then, the band Traffic Jam, you must have had pretty heavy-duty management or agents or something that was able to book some pretty cool gigs, right?
At that time, yeah, we dealt with some agent through New York City. But I tell you what was funny, while we were out touring, we came across a gentleman by the name of Scotty. Can't remember his last name, and he was the road manager, tour manager for Poison at the time.
Oh, really?
So he started working with us, and then once he took our demo tape to Brett, Then Brett wanted in on it. So then Brett started managing us. So we would see Bret Michaels all the time back at that time.
It's so funny that Bret Michaels
Another
keeps showing.
Bret-
yeah.
It's this show is so.
I
me.
feel like
I
It's
heard
me.
you talking about
It's
it,
me.
and it was
It's me.
so strange because when I heard about the whole Van Halen tour, I'm going back over 20 years. The group that we had, Traffic Jam, we were up in Vancouver, BC, and we're performing up there. And at that particular time, Poison was in the studio working on their new album at the time. And we go inside the studio, and who's sitting right there? David Lee Roth.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
So it's very coincidental. This is, I got to show you this picture. This is Kim Marie and Bret Michaels.
Bret
who-
Michaels.
She would leave me in a minute for Bret Michaels. I'm not kidding around. I wasn't even allowed in this area. I was actually locked out of this area, and the guards dragged me out of there, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's Kim Marie. I wasn't even allowed in.
Well, you
Kim,
know,
I've never seen her happier.
no, I'm kidding. Brett's actually a good friend.
now,
Good friend of the
Bret,
show.
I would love to run into him. I'm sure it would shock him to know that from that time and what I'm doing today, you know.
So his management company managed you, or
Bret himself.
managed you?
Yes. So
that is so
when
cool.
we were playing in BC, you know, he told me, he said, you know, David Lee Roth is going to come to your show tonight. So I remember us being on stage, and I'm looking down at the foot of the stage, and Bret Michaels and David Lee Roth and CeCe DeVille are sitting right there watching the show.
No kidding. Well, we'll make sure that Bret gets a hold of you. We definitely will
Oh,
make
man,
sure.
I would love that.
Yeah,
I'm
well-
sure it would blow his mind.
We'll absolutely make sure that Bret gets a hold of you. Yeah,
That would be great.
It's so funny that all this is intertwined. So
Kim's like nodding.
I'll text
her head
him
like,
later.
Oh, I'll text him later. He's all
I tell you
excited.
what would blow his mind too. When we were working with him, he was getting ready to start his own label, I think through Capitol Records at the time. And the name of his label was going to be called Poor Boy Records. So when you mention that to him, I'm sure that's going to freak him out right there.
yeah, cool. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, I think we're going to head to a commercial break a little bit early right now, and when we come back, we've got some interesting news pertaining to you and a new sponsorship for you. Okay, stick around, folks.